Only had the.
Who's there? Connecting rod. That's good. This is my new to me 1980 Rabbit. So this has been floating amongst a few different members of DCI for a few years now. And when it first went up for sale, I told myself I had to get my hands on it, but I was a day late and dollar short, so couldn't really make it happen. And that was the case for the second time it went up for sale within the club. So here we are now, finally got it in our hands. And yeah, this thing's freaking sweet. The interior is just, you just look at it. Would you just look at it? But yeah, it's a gasser. As you guys heard, it's got a pretty hefty cam in it, but it's not running 100%. It's got a cold start issue, and I'm thinking the idle is probably tied up with that too. A 1.8 JH with some oversized pistons, and I think it's got some minor headwork. At the very least, it's got a bigger cam in it, 280 cam. As you guys heard a moment ago, it's got a pretty choppy idle. It shouldn't be that choppy though, but once it's warmed up, it runs great. We're gonna go see Nick Becker. He's gonna work his magic because he's going to give it a try, see what he could get tuned up on it. I will check over a few things in the meantime, see if there's anything obvious, like any vacuum leaks. But chances are it just needs some good tuning. As tempting as it is to just throw a set of race carbs on this, as you can see, this engine bay is just too nice and complete to go ripping this CIS stuff out. And of course, I'm wasting no time neglecting it, leaving this thing out in the snow. No, we're waiting for a car cover. It didn't come here yet. It was supposed to be here yesterday, but it's not. So we will at least give this thing a decent car cover while it sits outside for the winter. My garage just isn't big enough to put two cars. I might be able to squeeze this and the Lotus in there, but for now, we'll stay outside. On that note, the car isn't doesn't have original paint anyways, so it's got a poorly prepped respray. As you can see, there's little paint bubbles everywhere. Some spots aren't bad, but then in other areas it is. We got some windshield rot here and on the other side, but this is the worst side. Basically, we'll go and do some kind of non-invasive fix just to seal this up temporarily, maybe pop that open, see what's under there. But eventually in the next year or two, we will actually address this, chop this out, weld some new metal in, and at that point I'm not going to go repainting the whole car. I don't have the money, I don't have the desire to take on something like that or pay somebody to take on that kind of job. The whole point of me owning my cars are to drive them, so this car's going to get driven. It's kind of, I prefer to buy a car like this that doesn't have great showroom condition paint, because I want to be able to drive it and not worry about it. So it's really just the plan with this car, is a turnkey, set it, forget it, not have to worry about it kind of car. We got some minor things to fix, but there's like paint bubbles here. There's all sorts of little funky spots. So it'll make for a cool patina queen when we decide to go start popping all these paint bubbles and letting it do its thing. But the bright side of that is I have a car I don't really feel terribly bad about putting on daily duties in the summer. For now, it'll just sit, put a cover over it, and bring it over to Nick Becker once the weather breaks, once the winter breaks, and we get some warm weather, rain to wash away the road salt. You guys didn't get to see this either, not that many people care, but we got a Passat wagon, 2004 Passat wagon, 5-speed front-wheel drive, 1.8T, 200-something thousand miles on it. Can make for a good little beater because we got rid of the Suburban. So this is the winter beater slash beater. You know, this is gonna be. I'm looking forward to keeping this around for a while. It's stock, totally stock, and it runs and drives great. Rides like a cloud. So very happy to have gotten rid of the Suburban and swapped it out for this. Essentially, we're driving to Syracuse on the regular basis now, so I need something better on gas. Of course, we've got the van still. That ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Those of you wanting some updates on the Swallowtail, we will get to it. I promise you guys, this spring will be plenty of videos on it. It's not going anywhere though. I have way too much money tied up into it. I knew going into it how expensive it was going to be, and I still came up short on funding. So I know you guys might be like, oh, what do you mean you're crying about funding and you just bought another Rabbit? Look, I've been trying to buy this car for a few years, so the opportunity came up and I had to get on it. So springtime, I promise you guys we're gonna get plenty of videos on this. We only have to spend a couple $100 more on parts to really get going and digging into it, and we're gonna get there. Like I said, I have way too much money tied up in this thing to abandon it. So again, sorry for anybody wanting more updates on that sooner, but it is what it is. Of course, we've got the Lotus switches in the garage. Probably dive in a little deeper into the history on it and do some kind of POV drive, maybe some more detailed walk around of it if you guys care. But there really won't be too much work or kind of improvements or changes made to this. Just got to get it running right. There's something funky going on with the clutch. It's grabbing real high, but we'll just kind of run it till it blows its brains out. I have a transmission with a diff in the garage. That ought to bring you guys up to speed with everything going on in the fleet and kind of what's going on right now. Biggest thing is work. Work is super busy right now. Trying to get some videos done for you guys anyways. We have Mark II May Day video coming up next. And then we've got Euro Summit Invitational after that. And we'll probably get a feature or two between those. I do have a feature or two already filmed, but maybe we'll try to get a fresh one filmed and done for you guys this winter. So got a bunch of videos coming up. I think we might be able to hit some consistency finally. So thank you for your support, everybody. I hope your new year is off to a great start.